October 2025 Garden Insights number 6, Masters of Light, Truth, and Knowing. Greetings. Welcome back to the knowing light that lives within the sacred garden in you. We gather here in frequencies of higher knowing. We gather here in God's season of divine remembrance that all souls in our collective humanity are summoned to feel, to sense, to remember, and to embody once again. The light of truth is shining in greater and greater amplitude as the earth continues her ascension and as the human collective continues their ascension as well. Let us take a deep, divine, conscious breath in together and feel the light of truth awakening and amplifying sacred remembrance and divine gnosis in us right here and right now in this eternal breath and this eternal moment with our beloved Source Creator and our beloved Mother. Breathe and know that we are home in all time when we consciously breathe with the intention to feel and know the brilliance in our divine design, the sacredness of our lives, the joy of divine creative heroes and heroines, and the prophecy that has known the knowers would return together to usher in this new extraordinary Aquarian age and renaissance of divinity in this realm and throughout all of creation. Feel the essence of your light's knowing in every corner of your being, every aspect of you as a divine spirit soul, and every layer inside you that may still have doubts about being a knower who knows all that you are, all that you have been, and all that you are perfectly designed to be. Breathe in the light of faith, truth, and union with Source and the Great Mother, and feel it filling and transmuting any cobwebs of doubt that would attempt to shake your organically unshakable faith and your unquakable inner knowings. You are the light of the garden. You are the seed of God's heart. You are the apple of the Great Mother's eye. You are the knower. You are the divine knower here now, breathing your timeless essence and the greatness within you into this realm, into your life right here and now, and into this divine renaissance unfolding on planet Earth for all sentient life living here in these times. Your sacred breath offers and facilitates transmutation of all illusions. Your sacred breath also fortifies your light and the light of true creation all around you. Breathe and know that your light and your breath transcends and transforms worlds. And thus your light and your breath liberate you from the confines of the illusions of incarceration and entrapment in this 3D matrix, so you are free to rise, fly, and soar in the truth of God's infinite creation. September 2025 ushered in amplified streams of invitations en masse to every sentient being here to embrace and allow this sacred season of remembrance from the inside out. These are inner invitations. They are not the kind of invites that arrive in the mail with fun fonts and fancy envelopes. The season of remembrance isn't being announced on social media. The season of remembrance is an inner activation and invitation to see, feel, and know deeper the truth of who you are. September 2025 brought big changes on the grand stage of politics, governments, lawmaking, exposures, and disclosures. The illusions are coming down. The veils of forgetfulness are being removed. Humanity as a whole is being summoned to awakeness, and change will continue to emerge at a pace not seen before in world history that most can remember. Unprecedented levels of change and transformation are the story now about the grand theater you are all living through and witnessing. unprecedented change and transformation, will experience a grand quickening in the month of October and beyond, paving the way for divine greatness and luminous light living to enter humanity's experiences and the law of the land here in God's grand creation. Thus, October 2025 brings the locomotion, the lubrication, if you will, through divinely orchestrated unfoldments that signal a grand divine convergence of God's teams in the physical and non-physical realms, aligning and collaborating together to usher in the greatest collective remembrance, and thus the greatest collective awakening of all time. If you feel that time is speeding up, or that time is quantumly expressing quantum entanglements that are weaving the light of truth and the truth of gnosis back into the heart of humanity, and back into the core of the Earth Mother, and back into the individual Christ Sophia light codes in every soul alive today, it is. October 2025 is here to make clear that the old 3D matrix that has overlaid this world, that has usurped the truth of God in creation and sold archonic temptations, deceptions, corruption, and manipulation as the original truth and the way things are, is over. October signals that the game is up and the game is over in unmistakable ways and in unmistakable and irreparable cracks and shatterings of the old matrix's illusions and games. October 2025 is an accelerated demolition month, as well as an accelerated month of revelations too. A collective ignorance in the court of humanity is making way for the resurgence of divine remembrance. Ascension is remembrance, and as more awakened to the summonings of the light of truth within, while also seeing greater and greater evidence of truth emerging through the illusions all have been sold and told were the truth for so long, remembrance will soon be all there is, because illusions are vapor in a truth-filled creation. They have no structure from which to stand or resist or re-manipulate themselves into form. The frequencies of the earth will no longer allow that usurpation occupation of her divine body temple. And every available particle of light in God's grand creation is backing her up, fortifying and resetting the law of one, the laws of God, and the laws of balance and harmony in sacred creation once again. Nothing can stop what is coming when voluminous light codes have permeated the odorous illusions and enslavement programs that need darkness and density to flourish. Mother Earth is a high-frequency being who thrives in the living light of divine creation and divine feminine expression. Darkness has no place to hide or reside in the Earth Mother's sacred temple now. Her frequency is beyond their reach. So too is every garden seed, every sacred soul alive on the planet today, being gifted many opportunities to awaken from the spell and deceptively induced collusions with the illusion that occurred long ago through a series of mammoth efforts to usurp this realm's sacred sons and daughters of God and the Great Mother. Archons are dark forces that embody the energy of the dark biblical serpent in the Garden of Eden story we have been given for centuries and centuries of time. Archon influence is found in all sacred texts filled with stories we have all repeated, learned, and abided by for centuries and centuries of time. Yet so is divine light and the light of truth also found within the sacred texts as well. The spiritual battle played out on every page and passage for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. Now is the time to awaken to the truth of the spiritual battle. And now is the time to hone your soul sight and fortify your spirit with discernment and Gnostic gnosis that can filter out what is false in your own illusion-informed patterning and belief systems and your own illusion-informed allegiances and self-deceptions. We have all been fooled by the multidimensional layerings of deceptions, corruption, and manipulations. But the greatness in 2025, the years of courageous souls who have planned for this great reset and renaissance on this world for eons, and the years to come as more of humanity awakens out of their slumber and collusions with the archonic spells, the years to come filled with incredible prosperity, joy, light, innovation, and creative expression is the path of our individual and collective healing now. There is greatness within us and all around us, supporting our season of grand remembrance in these times. There is love within us and all around us as we rise in these tides of epic change and permanent shifts in our world today. There is truth within us and all around us, ringing in the convergence of divine masculine and divine feminine frequencies weaving together inside us individually and our collective human consciousness. And there is light, the sacred Christ Sophia light codes rising and amplifying inside us all, shining the strength, resilience, courage, faith, and fortitude we are all endowed with to see the illusions getting exposed and dismantled and knowing the light of truth that we all eternally are. Sophia, the divine emanation of sacred feminine principles, example of cosmic error, and the path of redemption and transformation. Eve, the illuminator of sacred knowledge and gifter of gnosis to Adam in the Garden of Eden to pierce the illusions of the material world and inspire awakening. Mary Magdalene, the visionary vessel of divine wisdom and teacher of inner gnosis, who offers courageous awakening souls an ascension path beyond archonic powers, tricks, and entrapments that so often bind human consciousness and souls to the material realm. She offers a way to fly free. And Mother Mary, a vessel of divine incarnation as a bearer of divine light, who knows how to transcend the material world's limitations and illusions. Each incredible divine spark named here is offering their teachings, their calls to remembrance, and their soul tasks to transcend what we are tasked to transcend now in our day, in our here and now on the earth at this time. October 2025 will usher in increasingly powerful invitations to free ourselves from the darkness and the ensnarements of the 3D matrix and illusions. It will amplify the collective awareness that something is over, that times are changing in irreversible ways. Where we once fell from divine union into the spell of the 3D matrix and had to adapt and adopt the games of its illusions in order to survive here for millennia, we now rise into divine union again on this grand return to truth, light, and the absolute gift of gnosis, which only comes from allowing, breathing, loving, and embodying it from within. Revelations and disclosures will continue on the world stage for some time that people can choose to know, incorporate, and integrate or not. But the real knowing, the real transcendence occurs when we see, feel, and know what knowing feels and expresses like again in the core of our being. A soul that knows cannot be tempted, tricked, deceived, corralled, and manipulated by archonic forces anymore. That soul that knows in that steady stealth way is a soul that has been tested, a soul that has fallen, a soul that has studied the patterns of this realm's archonic trickery, and a soul that chooses knowing in all ways possible over any threads or invitations to deception around them. Many listening to this will identify as a knower. Like Eve, like Sophia, like Mary Magdalene, and like Mother Mary. We faced and may still face our own soul tests, but we do so now from a grounded, in the light of Source, unified with conscious breath, vantage point, and inner orientation to gnosis from within. If we falter, we reset right back to our grounding in the truth of light and the light of truth, and we continue forward. Many listening to this will identify as a newly awakened knower and garden seed, grateful to know about the grand return unfolding and reflecting on their inner remembrance across situations, conversations, circumstances, and events as they unfold live in real time. Those new to this grand season of remembrance who are testing their soul skills and aligning more and more with true truth while releasing archonic deceptions of truth are incredibly courageous and seen in the great ascension emerging and expanding robustly every day now. Those here listening who do not feel themselves to be a knower or ready to embrace their sacred light as a timeless seed from God's original garden are still touched by the light of gnosis each time you read and experience insights and awareness from the Gnostic inner knowing path that your soul remembers, even if your human self presently does not. We are all divine knowers on the return trip home to Source, to Gaia, to the Great Mother, and to the truth of God's divine creation that has always and eternally existed beyond the haze and entrapments of an archonic realm that dark serpentine energy and twisted demiurge deceptions have ensnared us in, requiring us to again and again forget who we are. This is no longer a season of forgetting on planet Earth. It is a sacred season of divine remembrance. Divine remembrance is the cosmic key to divine and sacred gnosis. We are returning to embody the knowledge of who we have always been and what God's true creation ultimately, eternally is. The grand experiment of separation, orchestrated through archons and multidimensionally laid deceptions, is being quantumly dismantled and eradicated. And the grand return to the light of truth, the light of gnosis, and the light of divine and sacred union is luminously and expansively here to stay. October 2025 will create major cracks in the archons' illusions and mind control programs on this planet. October 2025 will also raise hope, increase feelings of positive anticipation, inspire courage, faith, and fortitude as we navigate the shifts, and seed the light of gnosis emanating from within with the love and support of all of our spirit guides, God, Mother Earth, the Great Mother, and specifically Eve, Mary Magdalene, Sophia, and Mother Mary. The Great Mothers of all time are here ushering in a new birth and a new remembrance of the light we truly are. It is that gnosis of our divine spark, our divine sacred light within, that is perhaps the most precious wealth of all time that indwells us all. We are returning to the light. Remember this when more of the 3D archonic structures or deceptions get exposed. Remember this when more of the 3D matrix's systems fail. The light of truth, of Source, of the Great Mother is here to lead us all and lead us well. Embrace this season of remembrance and perhaps take a walk in the garden with Eve to visit with the tree of knowledge of good and evil with her that lives within you. As more accurate stories and details of the Great Garden are unveiled, We are gifted the opportunity to forgive ourselves for lifetimes of believing we didn't know, we had forgotten, or we thought we believed what we had been sold and told. Liberation also requires self-forgiveness. So we will be on a journey of self and soul forgiveness within each of our own hearts, as well as a journey of self and soul forgiveness within the collective heart. The good news? We are already forgiven, and we are already master knowers of light and truth throughout all time. All we really have to do is allow ourselves to remember.